Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm Battlefront 4000 and today I'm going to be doing something completely different than what I usually do on this channel, because today I'm going to be doing a ranking of all the assault class weapons. So now this is going to be probably a 4-part series. I'm going to go through all the different classes and just give my opinion and insight on what I think is my personal favorite weapon. So I reckon this is going to be a lot of fun because I have been wanting to do videos like this for quite a while now, but I just never got around to actually recording it. But just before I actually get into the rankings now, what I'm going to quickly do is I'm just going to cover 3 topics that I just want to really quickly talk about before I give my reasons of what my favorite weapons are. Now the first topic is pretty much what I would consider when thinking about my favorite weapon. So I'm not the type that just looks at the stats, so which one does the better damage output or which one would clear out the room the fastest, you know. Like, I think about even just the little things like which one looks nice, which one sounds nice, which one suits my playstyle more, and I might even go into which one gives me a more Star Wars feel or which one gives me a bit of nostalgia. Like, just the little things that makes me enjoy a weapon more. So that's just a little description on just the small stuff that I would also consider when thinking about my favorite weapon. But now I'm going to get into the second topic, and that one's just pretty much discussing the weapons themselves. So all in all, there are 9 weapons in the assault range, and 6 of them are covered by the defaults. So all in all, the defaults are all pretty much the same except for appearance and sound. All the stats are the same, so they do all the same playstyle. So what I decided to do with them is I've just grouped them all together and I'm going to consider them as just one ranking, and because they are pretty much all the same. So now instead of a ranking out of 9, I'm going to do this a ranking out of 4. So now that's going to conclude that topic, and now I'm going to start the very final topic, which is going to be on opinion. So this is going to be completely my opinion. This is suited just to my playstyle. Obviously we all have different playstyles and all different opinions on what we think is our favorite weapon. So if you agree with me or if you disagree with me, just go into the comment section and just let me know what your favorite weapon is and why you think it's better for you. Because, you know, we all have different playstyles and we're not going to have the same opinion. So that's all I have to say now with all the chit chat stuff. So let's go straight into the rankings now, and in 4th place I have the CR2. So now before I have to explain my actions, what I'm going to really quickly do is I'm going to talk about the quick description that the CR2 gives. So all it says is a small and agile blaster with extreme rate of fire, often wielded by the Naboo Guard. So now, I'm not at all saying that this is a bad weapon of sorts, because I completely get why people would love this weapon, because in close quarters, this thing shreds. This thing minces people in close range, and it is a brilliant weapon. But sadly, it doesn't suit my playstyle because it lacks in medium range. You can still get kills with it, but it's going to take a lot more in medium range. And in long range, you know, good luck to you, sir. Because that will be very difficult. And I do realize that this is a close quarters only weapon. And I prefer to be able to, you know, get kills from short, medium, and possibly long range as well. So this is just not going to be suiting my playstyle that much. Appearance wise, it looks really nice. I do enjoy the appearance of the CR2, and also I like the attachments and the sound of the weapon. It does sound a bit like a pea shooter, I'm not gonna lie, but that's completely fine. But it does also remind me a bit of the Battlefront 1 2015 EE4, which I was never a fan of in that game. It just feels like a fully auto version of that. So sadly, the CR2 is going to have to go in last place for me. It sounds nice, it looks nice, I get why people use it, but it's just not the weapon for me. So now going into the 3rd position, and I'm not going to lie, it's the 3rd and very surprising position. I was not expecting to put these, you know, above something in any of these rankings, but it's going to have to go to the default weapons. And the default weapons are a standard issue blaster rifle with reliable range and damage output. And when coming back to them, I can agree that they're actually half not that bad. Now granted, you can't make them any better because there is no attachments that you can put on them to improve, so they are what they are. They are also the first weapons you get when playing the game, and it's most likely the weapons you'll leave fast enough when you start unlocking the other stuff. And when coming back to them, I found that they were actually great in short range and they were good in medium range. In long range they were a bit meh, but you know, it was to be expected. But I was surprised at how good they still were, because you know, I left them a long time back. And I think the main reason why I put them on the 3rd position on this one is they used a lot of the iconic Star Wars weapons as the default for this game, and it gives a lot of nostalgia seeing the guns and shooting the weapons, that it really did feel like I was a part of the Star Wars battle. And don't get me wrong, they do perform pretty well. I feel like I can still hold my own with the default weapons, but I feel like it's not as much the performance of the weapon, but more of the nostalgia and the nice feel that you get. So whenever I just want to have a chill session or just want to just chill out, play some Star Wars, I'd always go back to the defaults just to give me more of an authentic feel. So that's why I enjoy using them a bit more than the CR2. So now briefly, what I'm going to really quickly do is I'm just going to mention all of the default weapons that you can use on the different factions, because I really love the looks of them and I love the sound of them. I think that's why I ranked them a bit higher on the Assault class, because I do get good enjoyment out of them. So starting up with the first order is the F11D. Then for the Empire is the E11. Then for the Separatists, the E5. Resistance, EL16. Rebels, A280C. And for the Republic, the DC-15A. So I do love those weapons. They look nice, they sound nice, and they are very common in the Star Wars universe, so they give great nostalgia for me. But I'm at a stage now where I'm in the top 2, and this is the hardest 2 rankings for me because these 2 both suit my playstyle more, so it's a bit harder to range from both of them. The other 2 was easy for me, but these are the 2 weapons I use the most in multiplayer. I keep ranging from both. So coming in second position is the EL16 HFE. Now the description says that the EL16 HFE is a steady, sturdy, and built for medium to long range combat distances. The EL16 HFE was the preferred blaster rifle among fighters with the Resistance. Now I'm gonna say right now that I absolutely love this weapon. This weapon suits my playstyle so much more than the others because I'm able to get into combat situations such as medium to long range. But on saying that, the reason why I've put it in second position instead of first is because it does lack on one field, and that is close quarters action. And don't get me wrong, you still can win those battles when you're in close quarters, but it's going to take a lot more maneuvers to get out of situations, especially if you have a team full of CR2s running the room. It's going to be a slaughterhouse. And so sadly it does lack in the short distances, but it is gorgeous, especially on your long distance maps. And I also have to really quickly say that the appearance of the weapon, I've always loved playing this weapon, especially in first person, because it looks really nice, and the sound as well is really cool. And those are still other aspects I always look into when thinking of this stuff. And this gun always delivers really nicely. Has one little problem, and that was the short distances, but overall it's a great weapon to use, and I definitely recommend it. Now, coming in at first place, we all know what the weapon is by now, and that is the A280. Now, really quickly, I'm going to give the description of what the A280 gives, and then I'm going to discuss why I love this weapon. So, the A280 is a medium-range rifle which fires in 3 blast bursts. This steady weapon was widely used by the Rebellion during the Galactic Civil War. Now then, I'm going to quickly take a little snippet from what that last description just gave, and that was that it says it's a medium range rifle, but in a way I kind of disagree to a point where I think that this is the ultimate all-rounder weapon. It's great in close quarters, it's great in medium, and I still think that it's great in long distance combat. And that really suits my playstyle, which I find is one of the main aspects you need to look at when thinking of your ultimate favorite weapon. Does it actually suit the way you like to play? And also, when it comes to the sound and appearance of the weapon, it's a very iconic weapon. It's something that we've always seen in the original trilogy films from the Rebels, and it's just always a weapon I always loved to use, especially in the Battlefront 1 games and even the original Battlefront games back in the early 2000s. It's always been a weapon that was always reliable in these games, and especially in Battlefront 2, especially with the new attachments that you could put onto this specific A280 with the triple shot. It makes it great, and given all those other things I talked about as well with the appearance and the sound, it was very iconic, and it's just a ball to use. It's very reliable, and this one is definitely going to take the #1 spot for me for the assault weapons. And it's also going to conclude the video today. Most likely the next one I'm going to do is the heavy weapons, so definitely stay tuned for that. I'm not sure when I'm going to have the time slot to actually record it. Most likely I'm going to try for next week. If not, it'll definitely be the week after, because I got a lot of stuff with the new update coming up soon. So definitely also stay tuned for that. And as I said at the beginning of the video, if you agree or disagree with it, just put it in the comment section of what you think is your ultimate favorite, and we'll just have a good discussion about it, because I always respect everyone else's opinion about the matter, because we all have different playstyles. So that's it for today. I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later.